Hey guys, guess what we're doing? We're doing a CGC unboxing. Oh man, it's been a long time. I have been waiting to get books back for a long time. CGC has been very slow, and that's okay. It is what it is. I just got back 2 boxes of moderns, 25 in each, which is kind of awesome. It's nice to open that up. Um, as you'll see, there was definitely some losers, and there were some good winners too. But the losers, I've been reading a lot online about what CGC is doing with their grading these days, and I think the general consensus is at this moment right now it is very tight. Um, Books that used to get 9.8s are getting 9.6s, and it's just the way it is. What was the term? 9.6 is the new 9.8, and my books have definitely shown that. Saying that, I got some winners, but I just kind of want to kind of purse through some of the losers first. Not losers, but like I was a little surprised by some of the stuff, and this happens, guys. It just happens. You just get I don't know if it's a grader. I don't know how it actually works there. I'm sure someone could tell me. I've heard stories. I've met some people that know some things, but I don't really. I mean, they tell us how it works, but I don't know how certain books can get through the way they get through. Saying that, I'm not a professional grader. I'm just some dude who's trying to get good books in the best grades he can get. I do believe that we all look at our books a little bit more positively than we probably should. I think we're all guilty of that. I definitely have been guilty of that in the past. I don't think I was doing that, but I also have a presser who's an excellent grader as well, and he's been thrown for a loop on a lot of books as well. So it just seems like you better send in perfect copies, guys, or that's that. Like it better be. Um, or just lower your expectations a touch. So it's just the time that this is happening, and we got to just sort of deal with it. So anyway, why don't we get on some books? First of all, I started specking on this book last year. Um, I just had this sneaking suspicion. It's Marvel Chillers #1. My first one here is a 9.0 copy, which again I was a little surprised by. I sent in 3 copies. They were, in my opinion, all 9.6, 9.8 candidates. And so when I saw the 9.0, I was a little, huh? Not super stoked about that. But, you know, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I look at this book, and even the grader's notes, there's no grader's notes on it. And that's weird at 9.0. It's gorgeous, this book, and I just cannot get my head wrapped around why it is. So I'm probably going to crack it and send it back in. I know it's not a high dollar value book, but I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be. Anyway, I got a 9.0 on one. Woo! I'm a big fan of this book. I think you guys should be too. There still can be found in backstock, cheap. Um, Really, really big fan of this book. I think there's a lot of potential for Mordred the Mystic. There's also a villain in there. I can't pronounce his name. I think it's Synthon. Um, I'm probably butchering that, but I don't care. It's my show. I can do whatever I want. And anyway, that's the first appearance of that character too, who very easily could sneak into a lot of stuff. With the Marvel horror books becoming a thing in the MCU, I think there's a lot of potential here. So pay attention, guys. I got another one. Let's put it over here. It's a 9.4. I can't be too sad about a 9.4. 9.4 is a grade that I love. Obviously, I was looking for higher on these. I'm again a little surprised it got what it got. But it's a 9.4. It's perfectly great. 9.4 is when I was growing up was kind of the now it's 9.2, but back when I was a kid, 9.4 was what near mint was, and Overstreet kind of informed me that that was what it was. So I always liked 9.4s, and so I am perfectly happy with 9.4s. investment wise, obviously they're worth less, but they're still a particularly great copy. Like, it's a near mint copy. You can't complain. So again, these were all. I think I was just getting a little too greedy, and I picked up all these copies. I think I picked up 8 for about $2 each, and I thought I'd won the lottery, hoping a few of them would be 9.8s. But again, this is the way it goes. And I got one more in a 9.4, and again, I can't complain. I'm again a little surprised that one of them didn't come back higher, or all of them, but that's just the way CGC's playing the game these days. And as you'll see from my other books, it's going that route too. And again, my grading hasn't changed a whole hell of a lot. So I don't know. I'd love to hear people's thoughts. I just think they're just a little tighter these days, and I just wasn't foreseeing it at the level that it's at. But they still do a good job, and I'll still continue to send books in. It just is what it is. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh, yes. This is a book I am a huge fan of. I have another copy that I showed in a video raw that's going to CGC at the moment that I hope is a 9.8. I mean, it is perfect. This one was never going to be a 9.8. I knew that in advance. I can hear my cat in the background just meowing. And now she shuts up. Anyway, this book here is a classic cover. It's something that's happening right now in collecting. There's a lot of these great classic covers from when I grew up, late 80s, early 90s, that are really starting in higher grades are starting to really be worth something. But this one in particular has really gone through the roof. I think 9.8 copies are floating around $1,400 right now, which is crazy for this book. But even lower grades are going for good money. I've seen very fine raw copies go for over $100 US. That's nothing to sneeze at. So I'll just show it to you. It's Batman 423, classic McFarlane cover. In fact, I think it's next to some of the Marvel Tales covers. I think it's my favorite McFarlane cover. I just adore this cover. It's just so great. I got a 9.2. I was actually expecting a 9.0. So hey, man, sometimes you get some hits. The reason I got it graded, I'm going to sell this one because I did get a nicer grade on this. I'm not investing in this book. I just want a high grade for my collection, and this one isn't going to cut it for me. I mean, it's fine. It's just I sent it in basically to sell, to put money towards another book. I'm very happy with this grade. There's no complaints. You hear my cat? Yeah, she misses my family. My family's out snowshoeing right now while I get to do this at home because I'm a lazy old man. Anyway, 423. I recommend it. I hope in a few months I'm showing you a 9.8 copy of this from the other one I sent. Or even a 9.6. I'd be really happy with a 9.6. It's gorgeous, that copy. So, what else do we have? Ooh, what do we got here? This was a book I sent in. Again, it was a pristine copy, and I was a little surprised it came back at this. It's Daredevil 270. It's a great book. It's the first appearance of Blackheart. God, this book is perfect. But it's a 9.6, and you know what, man? 9.6s are the new 9.8s, apparently. I'm not unhappy. You can't be unhappy with a 9.6. Obviously, a 9.8 brings a lot of value to a book like this that is fairly common in high grades. And that's really what you're going for, is trying to get the 9.8. And I can't complain. I will put it in my collection, and that's great until I come across a better copy. And I will attempt to try and get a 9.8 on another copy. So for the time being, this will stay in my collection. I think this character is interesting. I think it's in a valley right now, this book. You can get them for cheap, raw. At least I was able to. I think it's not a terrible one to go after. If you can pick them up for, under $20, well, that's Canadian. Yeah, so like $15 US. I don't think you can do wrong on that. Long term. I think there's future to this book. Anyway, there's that. What else we got here? We have, oh God. Let's do some of the X-Men. Yeah, this one came back a little surprising. So, Avengers Annual 10. First Prince Rogue, 7.5. Oh, there's the cat again. See, that's what, even she doesn't like it. Anyway, this is a 7.5, and I was thinking it was about a 9.0 to 9.2. I look at the book, and it is a 9.0 to 9.2 visually. The grader's notes just say there's some light creasing by the spine, and I can't see it. There's not even a color breaking tick. It's a mystery to me. It really truly is. And a few of the books are like that. And that's just the way it is. So, again, I was hoping a 9.0 to 9.2 on this. And I got a 7.5. So, it just is what it is. I could be happier. But I will say this about this book. I have picked up a few of these, and I'm fairly happy with this book. I think this book would be worth so much more if the cover wasn't just a big pile of stinking shit. It just is. You have to admit it. Admit it! It's just not a great cover. If this had a cover on it with Rogue on it, blasting out of something, out of an explosion, or just looking awesome, or it even just had a cool cover of Captain America or anyone, I think you'd see bigger numbers on this book. I think there's I think it's obviously it's a major key, going to be a major key eventually with X-Men entering the MCU. Rogue's a big deal, potentially could be huge. I think it's a great book to buy, and I would recommend it highly. But I think there's neat, cooler Rogue keys, as you'll see. But I should show you the other one I got. Where is it? Sorry about this. I'm totally not. Here we go. Well, I got the 7.5, but I got another one. I sent two in. I was hoping for 9.0s to 9.4s in that ballpark. Again, I purchased these exceptionally cheap a few years back, raw, and so even at a 7.5, I'm going to do okay with it if I choose to sell it. But I did get a 9.6. So I'm not complaining. I mean, sometimes you do okay. I wasn't looking for a 9.8 even. So, it's a little, every book was a surprise on this one. So I'm quite happy to get a 9.6. It's better than a 9.2 or a 9.4. Obviously, financially, it's great. And this will definitely sit in my collection. I've never really owned a CGC copy of this book, and now I have a 9.6. So, hey, I'm happy. Pretty happy. So, there's that. But let's look at some X-Men books, shall we? Talking about cool Rogue covers, this was one I really like. It's, again, X-Men 168. I got a 9.4. Again, I sent these all in. I mean, obviously, I was hoping for 9.8s on these, but apparently you don't get your way all the time. Thank you, CGC. That's the way it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But it's a gorgeous book. I think this is one of the best covers for this character. I just think this is a severely undervalued book, and I think when Rogue hits the MCU, I think people are going to line up for this book. It is not a hard book to find, highly collected, X-Men series at this point, bagged and boarded in the 80s. People were putting them away like crazy, and, that's the way it was. That's the way it was. So you're going to be able to find some if you go looking around. I think it'd be really smart to try and get a couple of 9.8s if you could and just sit on them. I think Rogue's going to be a big deal. Again, I got another one. This one's a 9.6. Can't complain. I can't complain. You can't complain about a 9.6. Obviously, I was going for the 9.8s, but 9.6 is okay. It's not bad. I don't mind a 9.6. I think there's a lot of people out there who are perfectly happy with a 9.6, and a lot of times I am and I'm not. It's weird. It just depends on the book. I'm old enough now to think that I remember all these books being cover price, and I remember them sitting in cheap bins, not cheap bins, but low price. This book probably sat at $1.50 for like 20 years, and so the idea that why wouldn't I get a 9.8 on these? Like I have to own, or at least I need to own a 9.8 in a book like that because they're so prevalent. it would be stupid not to have a 9.8. But now I'm starting to, we're all learning that, hey, that's not the easiest thing to do. Or is it? Yeah, I got a 9.8. So I'm super happy about that. I sent 3 in. Um, this one, wins the day for us. So I'm pretty happy. This one's definitely in the PC. I'm definitely going to be hanging on to this one. So I'm pretty happy about that. Again, come on, guys. That cover's awesome. Who's that, Cochran? Oh, Paul Smith. Boy, that cat is not happy with his CGC grading, is she? Can you hear her? Yeah. Shh. It's okay. CGC will be good to us next time, sweetie. Okay, let's go look at some more X-Men. This is interesting. So I about a year ago I got this book back in a 9.8, a newsstand, and I was super happy about that. And so I sent a couple more in. A number of years ago, I was looking at, obviously Marvel Comics were going through the roof when they were associated to the MCU, and I was like, but things were getting so expensive for the stuff that people were focusing on. I was just trying to find something else to go after. And I remember when I was a kid, just X-Men were huge. They were they were the number one big boy on the block for like a decade. And they just weren't 5 years ago, in my mind. And I don't read a lot of modern stuff. But like collecting world, just 1 second, I have to say shush to my cat. Shh. Sweetie. Boy, that cat's going nuts. She does this every time my wife and my kids leave the house. She just wanders around and meows. It's a joy. And sometimes it's not. Anyway, so a buddy of mine, Greg Gurr, who does my pressing for me, my cleaning, is amazing. Greg and Greg Pressing on Facebook. Check him out. You'll be very happy. Boy, that cat is loud. I love that cat. Anyway, so we were discussing it, and we thought, why don't we try and snag as many of these minor keys as possible? We were seeing these books like for cheap, like in the not dollar bins, but like $3 to $5, and I was just grabbing like things like X-Men 184, 168, 158, 155. Like there's all these mini keys, and they're still reasonable raw. And they're slowly ticking up. All of them. They're getting expensive. They're going to get to the point where they're going to start being the same price as like Burn X-Men's. And that gets into a place where I just stopped buying them. But I bought a bunch. And so I bought a bunch of this book, which is X-Men 221. I got a 9.8 newsstand on the last one last year, so I was super happy about that. And I'm not going to lie, I was expecting one of these to get a 9.8, and I'm going to tell you up front, I didn't get a 9.8 on either of them. I got 9.6s. Hey, still a very valuable comic. I'm probably $4 into this book plus grading, and I'm doing okay. So no tears for me. But and it still looks great, and that's awesome. But I did have a little issue. So this book's great. Yeehaw! On this one, I'm going to put it back here. And now I'm going to show you something that happened. And I guess this does happen. I learned very quickly. And also, by the way, CGC dealt with it very fast. I'm very happy. So I got this copy. It's a 9.6. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can get in there. But they put it into the... They put it in, and it's off to the side. So, can you see that? So they've damaged the book by putting it into the slab. It just got put in wrong, and it's been crunched. And what it's done since then on the spine, it's created wear, like twisty. It kind of twisted the book a bit, and it fanned it out. So I went on IG and I reached out to Brittany McManus, who is a lovely individual, and she got back to me. I want to say under 5 minutes. Very, very fast. Very lovely person. Immediately dealt with it. Got me to email her. I did. And within a day, there's a plan on how to deal with this. They are only human. CGC are only human. I'm amazed this kind of stuff doesn't happen more often, frankly. I also had another book that didn't have a Canadian price variant on it. One of the actually it's my 168. One of them doesn't have a Canadian price variant, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I have to send that back as well. But they're going to pay for shipping, and it's pretty easy peasy. So no complaints here. So I'm pretty happy about that. Anyway, what else do we got here? Let's go on to the next book. I'd be curious if anyone else had any issues like that in the past. So, but I better cut this video short because I've got a ton more books to go through, and these videos are just getting too long. So I'm going to split this up over time. So why don't I find something good just to end this one? Oh, here we go. I got 3 books here. So I got I believe in this book big time. X-Men 104. I got a 9.2 back. I have a 9.4. 2 9.4s actually. I thought this would probably come back a 9.4-ish. But 9.2 is fine. It's fine. These were, again, all bought a long time ago. So I'm very content with that grade. It is what it is. So, but it's a great book. It's the first Star Slammers. It's kind of their cameo. And this book's heating up. I was a little surprised. I was looking at sold prices on eBay for this book. I was like, what? Like, I was a little surprised to see how high they were. The funny thing is, the 107 is their first full appearance, and that book goes for stratospheric money. I think 9.8s go for about $6,500, and 9.6s are in the $700-800 range. But anyway, which is significant for a book of this era. But this book is, I'm a big fan. I like the classic, the cover that basically is a homage to X-Men 1. I think it's just a cool goddamn book. And what else we got here? Oh, here we go. So this is an interesting book. They say that this villain is going to be involved in Captain Marvel 2. I don't know if that's true. We'll find out when that villain shows up or doesn't show up. But at this point, people are specking on it. I go back to what I was saying earlier, where I was grabbing a lot of these kind of books. So it was time to start sending them into CGC. And it's X-Men 155, First Brood. Apparently there's going to be some Brood action in Captain Marvel 2. They say. I don't know. I've never really been a huge fan of the Brood, but I thought I should get some of these graded just to get them. I wanted to turn them into some funds to get other books. And I think this is, I still think this is a cool book. And I have another one here, which I'm probably going to keep for my collection. So this is a 9.6, First Appearance Brood. Got that, and I got a 9.8. So that's super, I love getting a good 9.8. But anyway, it's a 9.8. Pretty happy about the 9.8. It's definitely going to sit in the PC for a while. Yeah, I like this. I'm happy. So anyway, that's this batch of books. I'm trying to show you the shittier ones first, the ones I was a little bit more unhappy with. The next video, I'll show you some better ones. And then the next video, some better ones. Don't worry, there's good ones in this batch. I'm not super stoked about a lot of this. And there's still some real sad cases coming up. But that's just the game. And that's the drama of sending stuff in and, subjective grading, all these things. It's actually kind of exciting. So anyway, I want you to go to my Instagram and say hi. Come by and say hi. I would love to meet you. I'd love talking comics, anything you want to talk about. The other thing too, if you could like and subscribe, I would be in your debt forever. That would be amazing. Do that. That would be great. I would love to subscribe to your channel too. If you got a channel, man, hit me up. I love watching this stuff. I spend a lot of time at my art table drawing for work, and I watch YouTube comic videos. Some would say obsessively. It's probably the case. And I love to see new channels. So throw them at me, man. Love to see it. Or guys, I should say, or girls. Everyone. Anyway, I'm out of here.
See you later, alligator.